So it could be, I have to look it up.
Okay, no worries, it came up very bright.
Yeah, let me call it in. Okay. So what I was planning to talk about today is interruptions during davening. So where can you go to shul and you are davening and then you're Amen, Kaddish, Kedusha? Where can you interrupt during davening?
Is this for Shabbos davening or all davening?
All davening. It's just that Shabbos, it's practical for you, but it's the same thing all week. And then we'll start with what's called Psukei de Zimra. So Psukei de Zimra is anywhere between Baruch Shama and Yishtabach. So we're not discussing Baruch Shama, we're not discussing Yishtabach, we're discussing between Baruch Shama and Yishtabach. Anywhere between Baruch Shama and Yishtabach is called Psukei de Zimra, verses of praise. And over there, because it's not blessings, it's Tillim that you're saying, or song or verses from Tanakh, from the prophets. So it's not in the middle of a bracha, in the middle of a blessing. So therefore, we are more lenient in terms of interrupting. So we allow you to interrupt pretty much to almost everything. That is in regards to Amen Yeshmira, Amen, and Baruch Hu. In regards to when they take out the Sefer Torah and they say, I even say, Berich Shmei. It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Would you like one?
No, fine. I should go inside so I can tell you which page. Same. It won't be the same page.
The small
anyways.
pages. Here, do you want this one and I'll take the small blue?
No. It's just because I have the same pages like you.
Oh,
If they don't have the same pages, no point.
Okay, there is one that's the same as ours.
yeah, the blue one.
The small one.
I don't know if it's necessary. When I say between Baruch Shem and Yishtabach, you know what it means, right?
Yeah.
Between Baruch Shem and Yishtabach, right? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. So over there, you're allowed to interrupt almost everything. That is, you can answer all amens. The only amens you cannot answer are the amens from the second half of Kaddish. Kaddish has first amen, second amen, third amen is amen Yishmir Baruch, the whole thing. Then comes the fourth amen, then comes the fifth amen. That's called a Chatzi Kaddish. Then, so that you can answer, but anything past that you cannot answer. When I say all amens, I don't think we're referring to, I haven't seen it discussed, but I don't think it's referring to someone says a bracha on food. I'm actually not sure if you had something in that. Because it's not usually a davening, you don't feel like saying bracha is very pronounced some people is davening. I mean, at least in show, in the house. So I never came up. I'm not sure if you can answer that. But other than that, you can answer the entire kedusha. You can tie an entire moedim. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. You cannot say Baruch Hashem, and you cannot say what is said when they take out the Sefer Torah. I even say, no, you cannot say that. Holding no, anything you say, Shema Yisrael, God, all that stuff. When they pick up the Sefer Torah, you can't say.
This is like if you're the talking to, this is like the person between Rosh Amar and Yishtabach and
Right.
the shoulder.
And the show is saying Kaddish, Kedusha, right? If you hear thunder or you see lightning, you should say the bracha. Now we're going to discuss Birchas Kishma. Now we're going to discuss from when you start saying Birchas Kishma, and that is after Yishtabach is Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Malkeinu Yitzir Oy Uvei Lekosha. That's the beginning of Birchas Kishma. Birchas Kishma has two brachos before the Shema. You have it? You don't find it?
After.
Yeah. So after Yishtabach, you finish Yishtabach, Melech, Yochid, Chinam, then begins Birchas Krishna. So Birchas Krishna begins with Baruch Atah Hashem, Yitzrei Be'echesha. And there are two brachas you say before Shema. They're very long brachas, but the two brachas that are said before Shema. And then there is a bracha that's said after Shema. From the Yatziv till Go Yisrael is a complete bracha. In those brachas, so in those brachas and in Shema, we are limited what we can answer because it's in the middle of a bracha or during Shema. We are limited what we can answer, and you can only answer the following. You can only answer the third Amen in Kaddish. That is Amen Yehei Shmei Rav Mevarech Mevarech, the whole thing. You can answer. And you can answer the fifth Amen. That's in Kaddish. You can answer Baruch Hashem Baruch Me'ulad. And the Chazan says Baruch Hu is Hashem Baruch. You can say Baruch Hashem Baruch Me'ulad. When someone gets called to the Torah, he says Baruch Hashem Baruch. You can say Baruch Hashem Baruch Me'ulad. You can answer the Amen of the Birchas HaTorah. Someone is called to the Torah. You can answer Amen from those brachas that are said before the reading of the Torah and after the reading of the Torah. Amen of the Amida, you can only answer the Amen after Hakel HaKadosh, which comes right after Kedusha, after Kaddish, at the conclusion, Baruch Atah Hashem Hakel HaKadosh, you can answer Amen. And you can also answer Amen after the bracha of Shemei Tefillah, which we don't say on Shabbos and Yom Tov, but during the week. If you're in shul during the week, so after Shemei Tefillah, you can answer Amen. Those are the only Amens from the Amida they can answer during Birchas Krishna and Shema. So now we're discussing the blessings of Shema and Shema itself, the entire Shema. Yeah.
If you're in shul davening, even if you're not at the same place, like how will you know if you're at the first, third, fifth, Amen of Kaddish?
How do you know which Amen they're saying?
Yeah, it's like you're supposed to be focusing on davening. How do you know where they are?
Okay, good point. You don't always know. If you don't know, you don't know. So try to. I mean, basically, if you learn the Kaddish and you're familiar with the Kaddish, and hear him say Shmei Rabba, the Kar Mashiach, you familiarize yourself with the words of Kaddish, or look inside. I mean, like anything else, if you don't know, you don't know. But I'm saying those are the Amens that you're allowed to answer.
If you aren't sure, is it better not to say Amen?
What?
If you aren't sure where they're holding, is it better not to say Amen?
Good question. Now the question is, what does it mean you're not sure? I mean, okay, talking about within Kaddish, within.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you, there's a difference between the first 5 Amens and afterwards. So if you, but anyways, I don't know what to answer you. If you're not sure, I'm saying if there is a leniency, it would be was probably in the 4th and 5th, not 5th and 6th. After the 5th Amen, you cannot answer that even in Sukkot Zimna. We discussed before Sukkot Zimna between Baruch Shama and Yishtabach. You can answer the first 5 Amens, and afterwards you can't answer. That's even in Sukkot Zimna. So in Birchas Krishna, you're not sure if it's the 5th or the 6th, let's say. The probability is that you shouldn't answer. But I'm just guessing, I'm just bringing out that there's a distinction between not sure between 5th and 4th or 5th and 6th. But I don't know. I never had this question before that you're not sure, because maybe I'm just used to hear the Kaddish and right where they are. I hear it and I know which one it is. But I never thought of it. You're right. You hear Kaddish. How are you supposed to know which one? You're not familiar with it. Well, my guess would be that you don't answer. I don't know. It's hard. I mean, Probably you don't, I don't know. Because you're not supposed to interrupt, so. But practically speaking, look at the Kaddish, and you can hear him saying it. You open up the city, you can see, and eventually you learn Shmei Rabba, Mashiach. You could get familiar with the words. Okay? Yeah.
There's like, what you're saying, like, oh, if we're up in Zumra, or if we're in, like, this part, like, we could answer. That's
So
like-
for the Zimra.
Yeah, you're saying that we, or whatever section, like, doing just now, he's like, we could answer for this, we could answer for that. Are we, like, are you?
Okay,
supposed to?
I when you start asking, I already knew what was coming.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to?
Better.
Yes and no. Why yes and no? Yes, obviously, yes. If you hear Kaddish or the mitzvah and you only whatever, you should answer. I don't know, you should answer. No is because if it's disturbing your davening, you feel you just can't daven. It's like you just, then it could be that you shouldn't answer. You feel you can't concentrate on your davening. But again, but then we should distinguish between the amins and whatever baruch Hu, whatever that you could answer during Birchas Krishma, and the other ones that you can even answer during Psukkah Zimra. Those that you can answer during Birchas Krishma are much holier and more kedusha than what you can answer during Psukkah Zimra. So like Amin Yeshmei Abba, right? I mean Amin Yeshmei Abba mean the whole thing, whatever you say. I'm just saying. On the last Amin, the fifth Amin in Kaddish, and Baruch Hashem. These are things I would say. My guess would be that you should give priority to those. So if it's difficult and you're davening and it's disturbing, give priority to that. That's what I would say. But again, if it's really disturbing you, I mean, let's talk about the men for a moment, just to get a picture. During the week, it could be many minyanim. I'm davening this many. There's another many over there. Then when you say Kaddish from a different section of davening, but I'm davening this meeting, do I have to answer Kaddish? I just don't know. I mean, I try. Once I was answering, someone tells me, why you have to answer? It's, you're not from that meeting, you don't answer. I don't know. But it does make sense if it's disturbing my davening, and I'm davening now, I'm davening with this meaning. I'm going to be able to answer everything with this meaning. I'm good. I'm going to answer everything. It makes sense that, okay, you shouldn't answer. But so I'm saying that I haven't really looked into such depth. You have to, but I understand. But I would say that whatever you're allowed to answer during those Krishma is an indication that has a big Krishma, and you should give priority. Unfortunately, not everyone is aware of the priority of what's more, not less. I see it in show because people are talking and and then all of a sudden they realize it's Kaddish. Then they start answering Kaddish. They already passed the fifth Amin where it's on a much lower level, but they think, oh, now they're answering Amin. It's brought down that the kedusha of answering Amin Yesh Abba is even holier than saying kedusha. Kaddish, yeah, and in show people stand up for kedusha. Amin Yesh Abba because you're not standing. It's not kedusha when standing saying together when it stops. Amin Yesh Abba not necessarily. They get this. I'm not saying necessarily it's their fault. A lot of times people get distracted and they don't hear because they're talking to their friend. So it could be they just not picking up, or if they're a different minion, or someone's from the same minion and they don't, whatever. But anyways, Amin Yishmin Abba has a higher level of kedusha even than kedusha. So I didn't discuss what you can answer from kedusha during. We're discussing here. We're discussing the halachas where you can interrupt during davening. So if you're in showing, you hear him saying Kaddish and kedusha, what you're allowed to answer. Okay. So we're now discussing Birchas Krishma, which is from after Yishtabach, meaning now when I say from the beginning of Birchas Krishma Yishtabach, I mean from when you begin to say Baruch Hashem. If you finish Melech Yochi Chilam, right? Does that ring the bell? And Yishtabach Melech Yochi Chilami. At that point, it's the same like Psukkah Zimra. You haven't yet started. the same like before. Now, when you say Baruch Atah Hashem, you begin Birchas Krishma. And that goes until Gal Yisrael. We're going to go into, I'm still going to show you that within Birchas Krishma, there's certain sections that it doesn't even apply, that are even stricter. But I want to first start with the basics. So this doesn't, Birchas Krishma as a whole, from the beginning until the end, meaning till Shmoneh Esrei, you can only answer if it's a Dovish of the Kedusha, someone that has a Kedusha in it. We said, I'm going over quickly for you. I'm going quickly what you can answer during the discussion. So, yeah. Third Amin, which is Amin Yeshmirabba, etc. The fifth Amin in Kaddish. You'll see, you count. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Avad. You can thunder and lightning. It's in the brachas for thunder and lightning. Yeah. And what else did we mention? The Amin after Kina Kaddish made Tefillah, and what else? That means I did not yet mention Kedusha. What can you answer from Kedusha? You can answer 3 psukim: Kaddish, Baruch, and Yimloch. When I say Kaddish, I mean the entire pasuk. Kaddish, 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 Hashem, Tzavakis, Melech, Melech, Kavayim, Baruch, Kavayim, Hashem, Yimloch. Yimloch Hashem, those 3 psukim you can answer. So on Shabbos, it's a very small amount. During the weekdays, you're able to answer like most of Kedusha, because it's a small Kedusha, let's say during the week. Shabbos, it comes out a very small amount. But that's all you can answer. That's it. What else could you answer? We said the Amin from someone who's being called up to the Torah, if you can hear the bracha, it only says the Torah. I don't know how common it is they hear the bracha. You hear the bracha, and one is called to the Torah. You can barely hear it. The men can barely hear the person saying the bracha. So the women forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some places if they're loud and it's close enough. I mean, that's something you have to teach them also about. That they say a bracha, at least 10 people have to hear the bracha. 10 people say it low, and they don't hear the people. 10 people can't hear the bracha. Comes to bracha in vain. So, anyway, it's not relevant to it.
Yeah.
But in any case, that's pretty much what you can answer during Birchas Krishma. Anything else you can't answer. Oh, Maidim. Maidim, you can only answer the first 3 words of Maidim. Maidim anachnu lach. That's it. So you can answer. In Psukei Zimra, you can answer the whole Maidim. In Birchas Krishma, only 3 words. You bend down. Maidim anachnu lach. Now we're going to go into more. Now, what about Birchas Kohanim? The blessing of the Kohanim? Could you answer that during Birchas Krishma and Psukei Zimra? Depends which Birchas Kohanim. What do you mean depends which Birchas Kohanim? We'll say who's doing Birchas Kohanim, the Kohanim or the Chazan? Shabbos, the Chazan is doing it. Yom Tov, the Kohanim are doing it. When the Kohanim are doing it, you can answer even in the middle of Birchas Krishma. Kohanim. The Chazan, even in Psukei Zimra, you can't answer. Only it's a custom. It doesn't have the same strength like a regular Amin. I mean, it doesn't take away from the significance of understanding. But it's not a bracha, like Baruch Atah Hashem. So you cannot, when you go to Shul Shabbos, I say, and you're middle of Psukei Zimra, where you're allowed to answer, we said before, Psukei Zimra, you can answer every Amin. Only the first 5 amins of Kaddish. You can't answer this amin. The amins of Birchas Kohanim, you can't answer. If it's Yom Tov and the Duchning from the Kohanim, you don't never answer amin from the Chazan anyways. If it's Yom Tov, Yishmerecha, and everyone says amen, and you're in the middle of Birchas Krishma, you answer amin. Yeah.
So like, yeah, if you're interrupting yourself to say amen, like, Can you interrupt yourself like in the middle of a lesson?
Oh, I'm very good. So I was actually gonna get, so that's what I said. I'm discussing in general,
Okay.
now I'm gonna go into details. Because within Birchas Krishma, even though we said that you can answer from there, from there till there, it's Birchas Krishma. From Baruch Hashem, we're going to say Birchas Krishma. But then there are places that you can't interrupt at all. When you begin a bracha, you finish, took it to Zimmer, and he said, we're discussing interruptions during davening, where you can interrupt. I usually leave my phone downstairs, and I forgot to leave it downstairs. So you begin, you finish Melech Yachid Chei Amim, and now you begin the next bracha. Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Chaylam. What goes afterwards? Who knows? Yotzer Oyer V'Oyer Chesed. Okay. Okay. Now, anyway, it doesn't matter. I just want to. So now you begin Baruch Atah Hashem. When you say Hashem's name, you cannot interrupt there for anything. For nothing. Unless you have to save someone's life and working on someone, then you can. Okay? But Baruch Atah Hashem, between Hashem and Elokeinu, it's like the middle of the Amidah. Elokeinu, and even after Melech, even after Oilam, it's an Oilam. It's like the middle of the Amidah. Because you haven't yet made any connection between the bracha to what. Blessed are you, Hashem, God, King of the universe. What are you blessing Hashem for? Say what you're blessing for. If you haven't said it yet, if you speak over there, speak meaning interrupt or anything, you are chopping the bracha in half. And the same thing with the brachas that you say in the morning. When you say, Baruch Atah Hashem Pekech Nim, if you're in Shul and they're saying Kaddish and you want to add something, Baruch Atah Hashem Kein Malchelam, Amen Yesh Mi'aba Zeikid Krufim. No, you cannot interrupt the middle of those short brachas at all. So, getting back to Birchas Krishma now. So we have to first say, Yotzer, Oyer V'Oyer Chesed. Now, is Yotzer good enough? I never, went into such details. Yotzer, you say Yotzer, take 2 seconds. You say Yotzer, Oyer V'Oyer Chesed. Now, whatever we discussed, you can answer in Birchas Krishma. When we said before, you can answer. Same at the end of the bracha. Baruch Atah Hashem, Yotzer Amayris. Baruch Atah Hashem, can answer. Even now, if you're before Baruch Atah Hashem, it's interesting. When you hear, I don't know if this is too much. I hope it's not too much for you. If you're before Baruch Atah Hashem, if you're before the end of the bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem, Yotzer Amayris, then you could interrupt for the things that you're allowed to, but then you'll have to go back a little, you have to just back up a little bit, because there's supposed to be a connection between the end of the bracha, over here it's Baruch Atah Hashem Yotzer Amayris, and a little before that. Chachamim enacted that right before the end of the bracha, there should be something before that's similar, that is the same content of the end of the bracha. If you look at the bracha, you'll notice, let's say, Yotzer Amayris. Blessed are you, Hashem, He created the luminaries. What comes right before that? There's a pasuk. The pasuk until it says Hashem makes the great lights, that is kindness forever. So it's similar to the end of the bracha. So that has to come right before. So if you say, if it's seen inside, it's much better. Then it goes Baruch Atah Hashem. And instead of saying Baruch Atah Hashem, he said, okay, you could do that, but you're going to go back. Over here, you have the option to go back. It's not the same like when you said Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam, and you didn't yet say Yotzer Oyer, because over there you can't go back and say Hashem's name again. Here you're at the end. You didn't yet say the end of Baruch Atah Hashem Yotzer Amayris. So when you interrupt here, you also broke it up. So you go back. You're going back. You're not saying Hashem's name. What?
2:30, no?
Huh?
Yeah.
There's there on my road, that was where you go there for.
Right.
I'm honest, I don't doubt that, like, only in high school, that. I don't think, well, I never
You
knew.
get to the region, first you do the wrong.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So after you know very long, you don't want to interrupt. First thing is anything. Again, interrupt only for those things you're allowed to interrupt for, which we discussed. When we say interrupt, it's for those things that we discussed, you might interrupt.
It doesn't have to be front of the, or the thing, it's like that, not
Yeah,
everything.
there's a list in the bag, and a lot, and show everyone uses it, because when it comes, they get Kaddish, they open it up and they're looking. By the time they finish figuring out what to do, the Kaddish is already, it's open. So, it's great. In Baruch Hashem, I was blessed that I, going to show my father, if I can do it. I only used to ask him where to interrupt, wait allowed to, he taught me. So I learned to growing up young, so it's like, it's ingrained in my head that I could, in my sleep, we little kids when you're young, you have like. That's why one of the, I think that's the only topic that I could teach without using any notes, because it's in my, these details of Baruch Hashem, then I can later, but you get what I'm saying, the end, it comes to the end of the bracha.
Are you not supposed to talk after book one?
Yes. Do you want to explain about this, or you know, about the end of it? Or the,
Yeah, it seems right. I'm just a little.
look, on the
Isn't mine all-
Kaddish, okay. That's why I said, this, when I'm teaching, I can be a little too overwhelming, because it's like,
Yeah.
you meant no, the bracha don't do this, but it's like. The Baruch Atah Hashem, so let's say, you're at the end of the bracha, yeah, before Baruch Atah Hashem gets your latest, yeah?
Yeah.
The problem?
Yeah.
So over here,
Okay, very well.
page 06,
Okay.
right? Pilenu Chastre. After
Oh,
Chastre,
okay.
now comes Baruch Atah Hashem. Now, before Baruch Atah Hashem, Omen Yesh V'Rabba V'Chalayiz Bud. Let's say you want to answer, you need to answer the answer. Omen Yesh V'Rabba, whatever we said, you can answer. But now, you're going to go back to Hamechadish B'Tzuvah. Actually, I'm not sure if it's in Chadish or Ta'amah. I think it's on, I'm pretty sure, no, I think it's on Chadish. You go back to Hamechadish. So if you want to connect
Okay.
what's coming before the ending of the bracha, to have a connection. It's whatever the bracha ends off right before, it's something similar to the ending.
Okay.
Called the Inner Chassidim. Okay? Now, during Shema, during the first 12 words of Shema, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. During those 12 words, from the beginning of Shema until you finish Baruch Shem V'Elam V'Ad, it's like the Amida, you can't interrupt at all for nothing. No. Nothing. Unless you what someone you to save someone's life. Then you could interrupt. Okay? Otherwise you can't.
Children.
What?
And children.
What children?
Like your kids are old enough to bring a show, you're in show with your kids, but they're not old enough to understand, like, mommy can't interrupt and tell them anger. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Or like,
He asked me more of a practical question, like how do you deal with children when you're davening and your children are on your head?
and they're like 3 years old, they're old
And
enough to
like,
be in
mommy,
show.
mommy, and you're trying, and they're in show, and they're talking to you in show.
Yeah.
And you're saying Shema.
Yeah.
But you don't answer them. You wait till if you can't answer them, you don't answer. It's an emergency.
And if they run over to the men's side and start going crazy, we keep ignoring them.
Yeah, I feel like it's 12 words.
Okay, so I mean, I think that has to be a discussion itself because let's leave it. Let's leave it to another time. It's a good question, but we need to discuss it on its own. Like, what age do you bring kids to show? How do you deal with them? What do you say to them? They're running around. You shouldn't bring them.
Will we have a class on like bringing kids to show? That would be amazing.
You could do it one day. Yeah.
Now
Keep it in mind.
I
Huh?
did not better one day to home.
You teach us about it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
He speaks about bringing kids to show.
yeah, I know. And things like that.
You should. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It might be.
Not like a walker.
People might have slightly different views.
Yeah,
Not. It can't be. I don't think it's like one is another. but you might hear slightly different things when it comes, because it's not black and white in halacha, like what age and what, but the general picture is pretty much the same. Okay, so, now you asked about the middle of a pasuk, right? The middle of a pasuk, we discussed before, close to the bracha, end of the bracha. The middle of the pasuk, the half the eis Hashem lekecha amin yesh minam barach. Then you go, you finish the pasuk. Should you answer in the middle of the pasuk or not?
No.
So the answer is you should, but then repeat the pasuk. Because you broke up the pasuk, you stopped in the middle of the pasuk, you're going to repeat the pasuk. But yeah, get it. But even then, V'hafta eis Hashem lekecha, the 99.9, you're able to at least finish till a comma. You're going to say v'hafta eis Hashem, and then lekecha. You know, there's commas there. So that at least Hashem lekecha answer, and then go back. There's one place that is Rosh Hashanah that if you stop another pasuk, you don't have to repeat the pasuk. I can tell you where. You're going to remember that spot. The Samtim, the pasuk, the Samtim is the Eila on the Ramchim al Navshim. The reason why you have to go back there in the pasuk because you broke up the content, not so much the pasuk, but the content of the pasuk is broken up. But there's two different contents in there, two different ideas, then it's okay. And you have it in one pasuk, in the Samtim is the Eila on the Ramchim al Navshim, or Kshartim Eisam Leisal Yetzim. So after Avavavchem Bal Navshchem, if you answer there, then you don't have to go back. Okay, you the pasuk here, the Samtim. It's the middle of the second pash. Middle of the second pash of Shema, and it's the Samtim, it's the Vara Ema. It's somewhere right in the middle of the pasha. It's right in the middle. It's making the middle.
Is that the same for Kilan? Like if you're in the middle of a verse for Kilan?
I don't think so. I think it's telling me could answer. I mean,
After like in Sahara?
You finish by a comma and you can answer. I mean, I would say that at least not the amins. The amins they can answer during Psukkah Dezim, and I would say yes. That means that you cannot even answer them in you shouldn't. Honestly, I never really looked into it all the way to the end in terms of the middle of Tillim. Al pi halacha, there are some people who don't interrupt during the kapitel Tillim. It's a custom, it's not a prohibition. And I'm talking about speaking now, it's this talk. They don't talk in the middle of the kapitel between psukim. There's such an Indian not to talk, it's not an issue. But amins, for sure, means you can answer between psukim. There's no question at all. In the middle of a pasuk of Tillim, I don't know. I don't think it's an issue as long as it's a comma. But in middle of psukkah de zimna, if you interrupt the middle of a pasuk for what you're allowed to, it's also then it's not the same like Birchas Krishma, but it's still best to repeat the pasuk. Now, let's discuss. Did we discuss everything you can answer during Birchas Krishma? Yeah, I think we discussed everything during Birchas Krishma. Oh, Ani Hashem lekechem emes. Oh, how do you say Ani Hashem lekechem emes when you daven? You know what to do?
Then you wait for the positive.
When you're davening here in school every day, what do you do? Ani Hashem lekechem emes. It says every time. Can one of you volunteer and show me how to do it? How you do it, so I could guide you through that?
I'm my phone. I do it like that.
What?
I'm on my phone. Yeah.
You're on your phone when you daven?
No, during davening. Oh, she doesn't daven. She's making a joke during davening, but she talks on the phone. I call my phone. Yeah.
That's it?
And then I don't do the next thing. I go right touch mode after.
Ani Hashem lekechem emes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do also?
Yeah. I finished it, but like I said, like, yeah. I mean, Hashem, and that's I have to be around home tap, like I thought, like.
Okay, so I guess it's not, you want to talk how to do it, okay, so I'll teach
I
you
mean,
how.
I put a caution in my costume on me.
No,
So like that's
yes,
the only.
okay, no, don't do that. You have to repeat the last three words. Yeah, say, Ani Hashem Elokeichem. Ani Hashem.
I see that.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Like
in the
it's
morning.
spaced out like that, but.
They write it out clearly.
Yeah.
The reason why they write it out, because to let you know that you should do it, because people aren't aware you're doing the Krishma Shalom Mitzvah. The Krishma of every day, everyone knows you have to do it, so that's why it's not spelled out in such a way.
No, that we didn't know. that.
Yeah. Really, that's what.
Wow, no, she do, because, right, the evening Shema, there's nothing that's like, it's certain paragraph.
Oh, yeah.
There's
I
certain,
don't know.
there's certain.
Evening, you mean when you go before you go to bed?
Yeah.
Right. Krishma Shalom Mitzvah, yeah.
Like, yeah, before, like, there's certain paragraphs that you, like, you only say if you can, start staying up the whole night and davening and like, and learning, and then there's different.
That's something else. You're talking about something else at the end, okay?
No,
That's
what I
something
said-
else.
There's no like note about that, like, there's, I know if it's good.
No notes about what?
About that you only say this if on these, on certain conditions. And so for ages, I was just saying the whole of. The
Oh,
whole thing,
wow.
like literally the
Right.
whole thing, all the pages.
Yeah, because
And there
the
were
old
notes
Siddurim
told me-
don't have so many instructions.
And I
Yeah.
felt like it was a mic drop, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so good.
Okay, in any case, this is what you do. If you're davening on your own, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, Ani Hashem Elokeichem Emes. Okay, if you are in shul and you could hear the chazan, let's say, yeah, then, got it?
Yeah, thank you.
If you can hear the chazan, then you hear from the chazan will conclude Shema by saying Hashem Elokeichem Emes. You hear those three words, and you're good.
We want him to carry on. Yeah, I said we want him to carry on. We'll ask him to.
We're done. We're finishing.
This is not my job. Makes sense, sorry.
Right. So if you're in shul and you hear you can hear the chazan.
Yeah.
So then you hear the chazan saying Hashem Elokeichem Emes, and you have in mind to be yoitz with his three words. Then you can just do what you always do usually. Ani Hashem Elokeichem Emes. And you can hear it even in the middle of Shema. You stop where you are and you listen to the chazan.
Wait, I'm confused.
So you don't have to say a second thing?
Then you don't. If you're going to hear, if you have intention to hear the chazan and be yoitz with the chazan, the idea is to get 248 words because Shema is 245. Because we have 248 limbs, so it corresponds to 448 to get another three words to have. It should correspond to 248 limbs. That's what it is. Yeah.
I just want to clarify what we're doing. We say, I need.
Ani Hashem Elokeichem. Ani Hashem Elokeichem. Ani Hashem Elokeichem Emes.
Okay,
That's how you do it.
okay.
Yeah. Got it?
Okay, learning. I don't think I've ever said it. Show's name is everything right.
You say you never went to show.
I have I don't mean I followed it. No.
What do
I
you
just
mean?
done my own thing.
When you say you didn't follow, I mean you didn't dominate at all. You did some parts.
No, but like,
We
I'm
just
saying
can't
I've
keep
never,
up.
I like can't keep up with what they're doing, like, no matter, even if it's a show at home, like, I'm not talking about 770, but I'm saying like, even at home, like, it's like, you know, I just do my own governing and then like, I'll come in and I'll see myself afterwards and like that.
Right, you're not like with them, following them, you're just doing your
I'm
thing.
saying like, in
Right.
my 22 years of living, I've never followed.
Right, because, because now, first of all, you have to be able to hear them. And if you don't come on time, they're in a different place. And it gets confusing, listen to them, listen to your own davening, you're not used to it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Okay,
I don't even know what the difference is for your husband to be like, oh, this is what I say, I mean, this is what I'm not saying, you know? Yeah.
right, okay, so these are things, exactly, if it's something that I mean, if you decide it's something that you have an interest in, and you want to do it, something you want to explore, then you'll put mind and effort into it, and you'll pay attention, how you do this, you try, whatever, but, okay? So, we'll stop here. Does everyone?
Thank you. Now?
Yeah. And I'm sorry. I think I know what's going on. I'm not going to I mean, like, I'll be looking at it.
And this you
Yeah. You didn't bring that venue on. I was just clarify. But I don't think it matters if you know.